Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I assume you
Hey,
can hear me if I'm telling you that
yes.
you can hear me. There we go.
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just found out about all the stipend stuff, which is quite... it's good because it's top 8, not top 16, and I was 17th, so I don't have to feel salty, which is nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it would have been nice if I was in the top 8, but there we go. Can't have
Yeah,
everything. How are you doing?
pretty good. Yeah, so I'm so happy I found you. To give you a little bit of context, last season was my first time playing a full circuit, and I managed to cross off a lot of the goals I had. I top cut a regional, I won
Nice.
a mid-season,
Very
but
nice.
what I realized was all my success was based on somebody else's labor and efforts. So every team I used was using somebody else's team. I just piloted better than they did. So this format's been incredibly difficult for me because I suck at team building. I'm pretty good at the actual playing when it gets into that, but to say that it's been a struggle would be understating it. So
I can get that. Like, I'm finding team building in 17 harder than 16,
yeah.
and that's going to be quite surprising to most people because no one could team build in 16.
Yeah.
What kind of teams were you using in 16?
So 16, I top cut Utah with my favorite Pokemon, Whimsicott. It was Whimsicott, Meowstic, and then your
Oh, so
standard.
you were safe swag.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was the safe swag trick room Groudon.
yeah.
So it was Groudon, Xerneas, Salamence, Kang, and then Meowstic, Whimsicott.
Okay.
And then then when I won that mid-season, it was another Xerneas variant, but it was the Clefairy, Smeargle, the Follow Me redirection support, and
Okay.
just Xerneasing things to death.
Okay. Fair enough. So, is there anything this year that you would want to build around?
Um, Particular Pokemon, I really like Marowak. I feel like if you don't have a way to kill the Marowak, it kind of, because when people team build, they say, oh well, I've got something to cover water types with my electric type attacker, but Marowak throws a hitch in that.
Yeah.
So what I've been really liking is the core of like the fire water grass core of
Yeah, that's my
Marowak,
favorite core.
Kartana, yeah, Farewak,
Marowak.
Marowak, Kartana, and Feeny as the core. But I really like having the weather too. The weather I don't know if it's just a comfort thing for me, but just being able to make sure that the weather doesn't stay in my opponent's favor the entire
So,
match.
by the weather, you just mean any weather.
Yeah, Ninetales is what I've been using so far. It doesn't have the best synergy with Kartana because it pretty much gives away your item as Assault Vest beginning. But yeah, I really like the Ninetales.
Well,
The Aurora Veil's pretty nice.
it doesn't have to be assault vest. The other option, I'm sharing my screen by the way. Can you see my
Yep, I
screen?
can see it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, choice scarf is the other one because
Yeah.
that also doesn't need the focus sash, and that works really well. It's maybe more of a best of one set, but I've tried Scarf Kartana a little bit, and it actually is quite decent. Because if
Okay.
you can get some chip on like most of the Pokemon and put them in Leaf Blade or Smart Stroke range, then you can just sweep your Kartana at the end, and it's really nice. So
Yeah.
like, and with the Ninetales, it does bluff the Assault Vest as well,
Yeah.
which could be nice.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that core a lot. I get to this point where I'm at Marowak, Kartana, Feeny, and I just kind of blank and don't really have good ways to finish the team.
Okay. The most like common thing it was be Arcanine instead of the Marowak, and then just going off what a successful team was before was what was the last one? So we had Vanillux there, and it was Garchomp, of course. Yeah. So with Arcanine instead of the Marowak, that's been a successful team before.
Hmm.
That got to the 2000s on the Basket Spot ladder, and like it's pretty solid, but I don't like it personally. So,
Hmm.
like
Yeah, and
I
then
really like the Snorlax, but
yeah, the Snorlax is really good. The only other team archetype I was considering, I really like Lilligant Torkoal. So if this team doesn't work out, I mean that would be my other probably go to.
right. So we can have a look at this one first because
Okay.
you said this was your preference. So
Hmm.
are you set on the Marowak Kartana Finny core with weather?
No, not necessarily. I am set on Firewater Grass as the main core. I feel like
Okay.
that's the best way to get coverage in this meta, where you can't exactly, because the last meta was different. Like you could plan for what the 20 popular Pokemon that you're gonna face within
Yeah.
6 Pokemon, and now it's like, well, how do I prepare for 50 or 60 with 6
Yeah.
Pokemon? So,
Pretty much. Yeah. I think the Marowak is very underused with Finny because the main thing that does threaten, well, the two things that mainly threaten Finny are Tapu Koko and Kartana, and Marowak covers them both because Arcanine only covers the Kartana. Because with the Lightning Rods, definitely make sure it's Lightning Rod. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's very underused. So I don't know. I think it would have potential. But I would definitely, if you have Marowak, I would put speed control with it because like a lot of the Tapu Fini, Kartana, Arcanine cores don't really have any speed control. They may potentially have Icy Wind on their Ninetales, but that's not so common. There's also been a Mandibuzz, apparently, a Mandibuzz. That won a regional with the Arcanine, Kartana, Fini core. Or I'll just say the Water, Fire, Grass, because we're using Marowak, so... getting it in Tailwind would be useful, but if you were running Tailwind, then you would want to probably run a Jolly Marowak, because then you'd be able to outspeed Tapu Kokos and Pheromoses in that Tailwind. And the other option is, of course, going for Trick Room as well. Because Marowak is so slow, then you'd be able to make use of the Trick Room really well. But I would run some speed control with Marowak. Like, if you can get it into a position where you can just attack freely, it's one of the strongest attackers in the game. Like a thick club flare blitz, that's a tongue twister, is probably I think it's the strongest non-Z move in the game. I don't think there would be much stronger.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine without like a terrain boost.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe like a Choice Banded Leaf Blade from Kartana in the grassy terrain is stronger, but that's a bit situational. So yeah, no, I do like Marowak. So the two definite moves would be Flare Blitz and Shadow Bone. And then you would want some Detect because Imprison Muck is kind of a thing. So you would want Detect rather than Protect. If a Pokemon can have Detect, then you might as well have it. The only downside is less PP.
Yeah, so I do have one question here. When you're starting off with the team building, just like simple things are what I'm trying to pick up from you as well. Do you try to do like an entire Pokemon and like all 4 moves, or do you just add like the essential moves and then you come back and do filler
first? Yeah, but basically most of my teams are built around just an idea. So say I would have the idea of this Marowak, and let's just, for the sake of argument, give it where is it? Perish Song. Where's Perish Song? There we go. Yeah, so yeah, just say I wanted, I want to build around this Perish Song Marowak. Let's build around this. And then, yes, I would want to Fire Water Grass core, so let's add this Kartana and then this Finny. And then, what else do I need to cover? Like, I would want to speed control so I can get my Marowak into positions where it can knock KO things before it's attacked, because it's not got the best special defense. But it would be nice and bulky if it was in Trick Room, but you need it really fast if you're outside of Trick Room. So probably going with Trick Room because Finny is also slow and would be able to make use of it. But even if you're not in the Trick Room, you'd be able to be bulky enough to live things. And Kartana maybe not so much, but then that would probably lead me towards lean me more towards Tailwind. So maybe I would go with Tailwind and Trick Room as 2 options to get Marowak into a position to sweep, because then you can just knock 2 things out and then Perish Song. So like that was just a random thought process that I just had. Like that was completely improvised. So I went on a rant about the Perish Song Marowak. So
I didn't even know it got Perish Song, so that's really cool.
Oh yeah, Perish Song is nice. Like, I would say you would probably want Perish Song, Bone Meringue is the most common one, because ground coverage, like almost everything is grounded, so Bone Meringue is a really good move. But Perish Song is really good when paired with Marowak, because you do so much damage, you're probably going to get quick KOs. So if you get into a position where you're up Pokemon, so they're down to their last 2 and you're up like 3 or 4 with yours, then your Marowak can just Perish Song freely because it's already got the KOs and it can get the last 2 and then just detect and swap. But yeah, I would say either Perish Song, Bone Meringue, and those are really the only 2 options you should consider. There's some quirky ones like Substitute, Swords Dance, and I think it gets belly drum. Yeah, it does get belly drum. That would be more of a
Oh
trick
god,
room
that's
sweeper.
scary. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but you wouldn't run. I wouldn't run flare blitz with belly drum because then you're just halving your HP, and then like you are getting a KO, but then you're probably killing yourself as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, I like the Perish Song idea, so let's try to build around that.
Right. Cool. Like, one thought with Perish Song is that the slowest Pokemon on the field gets the win when everything gets KO'd at once, and that would lean itself towards going with the slow Marowak, because then
Smart.
if you can, like, if you have to get into a position where you like Perish Song and then maybe double or triple protect for the win, and that's your only win condition, you want to be the slowest thing so that that's your win condition.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. So I would lean towards, if you're going with the Perish Song, going with the slower Marowak, and then you would definitely want Trick Room. So maybe that means you probably don't want a Choice Scarf if you're going with the Trick Room option. Or maybe you do as the secret fast option. Oh, I've shown Trick Room in game 1. They're going to expect my Kartana to be Assault Vest because I've also got this Ninetales. It's not going to have Focus Sash. I'll be able, like, it's not going to outspeed this Pokemon. It's not going to outspeed my Tapu Koko at all, and then you surprise it with a Leaf Blade. But that would come down. I would leave the item for now and to build the rest of the team before you consider that. But I would definitely consider Trick Room with the Perish Song Marowak. So there's not that many users of it, to be fair. Like, I wouldn't really consider Alakazam or Gengar or anything like them Trick Room Pokemon, but then again, I'm using a Nihilego that's Trick Room at the moment, which is actually being quite successful. So
yeah, it's pretty scary because not a lot of people expect that to happen. I've been testing, I was using this kind of gimmicky team, which was Z Belly Drum, Snorlax, and Slowbro as heal pulse to keep healing, just because the Oblivious is really nice. So I like Slowbro or Slow King as a Trick Room setter, just because, I mean, barring the fake out, you're going to get the Trick Room up when you need to. Do you think Trick Room's, I mean, I guess Trick Room is pretty obviously important to the success of the team here.
With this Marowak, like, I would pair this Marowak with Trick Room. Like, you can use it as a Trick Room counter and just have all the rest of your Pokemon fast, and then you have this, like, just slow Pokemon to, if they go with their Trick Room, then you can still hit hard first as well. But getting a Marowak, like, I would focus on getting, with this team, just with the Perish Song, get your Marowak into positions where it gets the quick KOs, and then you can Perish Song.
Yeah, I guess I just like the Slowbro because if the Gigalith is pretty scary if I set up the Trick Room and I have to clear a Gigalith.
Yes, Slowbro also doesn't underspeed Gigalith, though.
Okay.
That's something to be aware of. It would if you had an Iron Ball or one of the power items, but yeah, the Gigalith would outspeed. That's not what
it's 22 base or something like that, right?
25.
25,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so that would underspeed you. I guess you could run Gets Curse, right? Yeah, you could run Curse Slowbro and then you underspeed. And then you can Aqua Tail it, which gets past its special defense boost from the sand. No one would expect that. Yeah, Aqua Tail and Curse, that's a good set. Right, no, right, so that's something I would do, like, on one of my streams, maybe, but we'll see, we'll see. Would you want Slowbro and Tapu Fini?
I guess not. I do like the fact that, I don't know, I really like Fini right now. It's I think it's very good. It's carved a really strong niche out there. I guess if I didn't have Fini, I'm trying to think of the other. I guess Tapu Koko would give me the really good fast mode with the Kartana, Koko, Ninetales, Mandibuzz.
Yeah, it is paired a lot with with the slow mode. Like, you have like a lot of common Koko Kartanas, and then you have like Porygon, Araquanids, Mudsdale. Like, I'm pretty sure I've just described a regional winning team, but there we go. What was the last one? Arcanine was the last one. Yeah, that was the regional winning team. So you can go with fast modes and then just suddenly swap to your slow mode, which works out really well in a lot of situations. Like, having the control, being fast or slow is really good.
Okay. So what do you think of the team right now as it stands? Am I missing anything?
I wouldn't say that this would probably be a full team yet. Like, we've got only really Marowak as the Trick Room Sweeper, and I guess Slowbro can still do a reasonable amount of damage, especially if you go with the Belly Drum Slowbro. But yeah, I don't know. Is Ninetales still viable?
Ninetales might not. Ninetales might be the one we take off then, because I mean, what is it doing other than just setting weather? And you can get weather out of, you know, a Gigalith or something else.
Yeah. Okay, this might not be that crazy an idea, but I did actually say Iron Ball. But what about Iron Ball Rain Dance? Because then that would cover the Torkoals that would stop your Trick Room as well, and also get rid of the sand. Like, you would be able to KO a Gigalith in 2 turns if you Rain Dance to get rid of their special defense boost and boost your Scald. And then surely Scald is a KO on Gigaliths. So I wonder what that would be like. Whether that would be worth it or not.
I actually like manual weather. That was the first team I ever built for VGC had Rain Dance Tornadus back in VGC 15, just to counter all the Zard Ys I saw.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing I can see that already is the Rain Dance doesn't have the best synergy with Marowak, but then again, like, I think that's better than like pairing it with a Pelipper. Like, I paired Marowak with a Pelipper in London, and that was probably not the best move. But the manual Rain makes sense because you just don't Rain Dance when your Marowak's on the field, or if it's going to be in the future. You can you don't have to switch in, say, your Politoed or your Pelipper, and have to set up the Rain to weaken your Flare Bits. So, like, manual Rain might make sense. I would only run the Rain Dance if you were running the Halving Speed, Iron Ball, or other power items actually on. Oh, they are. It weren't before. You could only use Iron Ball before. But yeah, only if you were running the slowing item, because then you would underspeed Torkoals and Gigaliths and be able to get off your Rain Dance before they attack. And like and you'd be able to, like, say the Torkoal is going to go for Solar Beam on your Slowbro. You activate Rain Dance. They're stuck Solar Beaming on the first turn. They can't switch, and then you just Scald KO them. I actually quite like that. I might steal that. I might steal it. I might steal it for myself. Yeah, that might be quite cool. You definitely want Trick Room, obviously. So then you just want the last light. Like, would you be good with this, like, slow bro with the Iron Ball and the Rain Dance?
I think so.
Okay, cool. So it would just be one last lot. Oh, was it Heal Pulse? That was with the Snorlax. That was if you had a Snorlax. So you can put a Snorlax in the team. Like, Snorlax makes sense with it, like, because this is your slow mode, and then this is your faster mode.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
and I don't mind the double waters just because I have Marowak.
Yeah, and Rain Dance helps your Finny as well. Like, yeah. So would you want the Z Belly Drum Snorlax, or would you want to go with the Curse one? Because usually, how I see it is the Curse Snorlax is used to counter opposing Trick Rooms, but Belly Drum Snorlax is used to, like, do so much damage in your own
win.
Trick Room. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I have the Trick Room mode, so the Z Belly Drum with immunity, so I don't get toxic, would probably be what I would be looking for right now.
Okay. Because most of them go with Thick Fat, especially because you've got Tapu Fini as well. Like, that would prevent you from being toxic.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if because Thick Fat, Ninetales and Vanilluxe is very common. Ice Beam just in general is very, very common. Fire, like, there's Arcanines as well. It's not Thick Fat way, no, it's Heat Proof. I was thinking of the halves burns. Does Heat Proof halve burns to, like, 3% now? That's a question for another day. But yeah, so Return, that's not Return. Return. High Horsepower is the most common. It's either High Horsepower or Crunch that I would go for. But High Horsepower has kind of better coverage in the meta. But then you are walled by stuff like Delmise and Trevenant. They're not so common.
Yeah, and I guess I have the Marowak for those. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then, yeah, you would want Protect, get rid of the Crunch for the Belly Drum. Belly Drum is normal, right? Yeah. So you can, so that gives you the synergy with the Return as well. So that you could Breakneck Blitz if you can't Belly Drum.
Gotcha.
So
that's smart.
Makes sense.
Would I need to? Is there any? Would I need to run Frustration over Return for any reason?
It's easier to get less happiness on your Pokemon than high happiness. At least I don't know in Gen 7, like, because
But other than ease of having to get it, because I can get the stuff pretty easily.
The main reason you run Frustration over Return is for Transform, and that's, like, there are Dittos and there are Smeargles in the meta, but Transform is pretty much non-existent.
I would be more worried about Psych Up than Transform, I guess.
Would Psych Up affect your happiness?
I don't think so. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, Return's good.
Yeah.
And what about I guess since I have the Finny, I don't have to run Facade over a turn either.
Yeah, that's because Mark Statter won his regional with a Facade Snorlax, and I thought it was quite strange considering he had the Finny.
Yeah, okay.
But,
I'll
yeah,
go with
and I've seen Facade's damage output as opposed to returns, and returns is so much stronger.
Okay.
So, like, I would go with return.
We'll go with this then.
Cool. So you still got that move slot. Tapu Koko is your fast mode, which means that you would probably want max speed, but then again, if you're going with your own Trick Room, then being modest slash adamant, you could be going physical. We don't know at this point, but usually you would go max speed. Like potentially a combination that beat me in London was Skydrop with Trick Room, because then when you're the fastest like thing on the field with your Koko, you Skydrop something, you Trick Room, and then the next turn, because you're then the slowest thing, you drop at the end of the turn.
Oh,
that's
good.
That kind of neuters one slot for 2 turns, which is quite nice.
Could you run? I guess you could run Skydrop without necessarily being fully physically invested too, just as a niche move.
You don't run Skydrop for the
damage, yeah.
But the one that was used against me was just Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam. Like that was the move slot, the moves that was used against me in London. So
okay, well, let's go with that. That's a really nice tech.
Okay, cool. And then you would run Protect, unless you were going Assault Vest. To be fair, like you could go Assault Vest with the Skydrop.
Yeah, the only thing, if I went Assault Vest, I would probably add HP Fire because other Kartanas might be a little bit scary. Because
you've got Marowak at the moment, yeah. And then I guess your own Kartana with Sacred Sword, that is very common on Kartanas. And then, well, yeah, like against against these 3, Kartana is actually really good. Yeah. So, yeah, like having HP Fire might be a nice tech, but if you're not running Life Orb, then HP Fire doesn't KO Assault Vest Kartanas.
Okay.
That's something to keep in mind.
Then maybe I just do, should I maybe do Focus Sash just for opposing rain teams, like the Double Duck lead?
Your Slowbro should be good against Double Duck. Like if you led Slowbro Snorlax, that would be pretty good against.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's right. That's right.
Duck. Yeah, because then you threaten with the Trick Room, and they can't really stop it with that lead.
What item would you put on the Koko then?
It would most commonly be Life Orb.
Okay.
But then again, like, well, we can run Focus Sash on the Kartana because there's no weather anymore. Well, the weather is non-damaging, so like the Sash is available on the Kartana. There's still Assault Vest and Scarf. I wouldn't really run. Well, actually, I would only ever really run Sash, Assault Vest, Scarf, and Z-Move between Leaf Blade and Sacred Sword. Although Life Orb actually does a lot of damage as well. But yeah, that like I really wouldn't run anything else.
Okay, Sash for now sounds good then.
Bright Powder would be good because then you can dodge things that would Oko you. Yeah, Focus Sash would be good.
Okay.
Thick Club, obviously. Life Orb is the most common, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have a Z move yet. No, you do have a Z move.
Normalium, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. And then you've got your Finny.
I guess Leftovers.
Okay. Is that the Carmine one?
Yeah, Leftovers or Specs.
Like, have you played with a specific Finny before, or have you played with
Specs, almost always Specs. But I've noticed that unless I can deal with their Kartana right off the bat, then having it be bold and able to take a Leaf Blade right off the bat helps.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You don't have any Intimidate on here either, so they...
Yeah. I would say the bold calm mindset then.
Okay, and do you prefer Scald, Dazzling Gleam, or Muddy Water, Moonblast?
Muddy Water, Moonblast.
Yeah, that is objectively better, even though Muddy Water is a terrible move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... What was it? It was 196. Yeah, it was that much, I'm pretty sure, that you need to survive Kartana Leaf Blades.
Okay.
So you can still get away with running Calm, but then you have like almost no investment in your special attack. So Bold is probably better. What's that? 160.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we can get to EV spreads shortly. Yeah. What else do we have? We have one more move slot on Slowbro,
We'll go with Heal Pulse.
Heal Pulse, okay. Heal Pulse, there we go. So would you want in Power Fire on your Coco? Because you could drop Protect for it. Like, just because you're not running Assault Vest one doesn't mean that you can't have the coverage. I don't know how, like, Coco kind of does need Protect if you're not Assault Vest or Choiced. But I don't know, like you.
Yeah, that's pretty scary for me. As for now, I'll probably go Protect, and if I find like I'm able to make the reads and the plays to survive without Protect, I can do it. But
okay, we might need to Protect to stall out your own Trick Room as well. So
yeah.
But you still got the Kartana move slots, but there's two very obvious ones which should always be there, and then Protect. The Sash one, yeah.
Does it get Detect? Does Kartana get Detect?
It does. Yes, that's a good point. So yeah, you should have Detect because of exactly what I said about the Marowak. Is there anything move-wise? Because you've got all the moves now.
I don't think so.
You don't have anything like Taunt. Like, it's not completely necessary. Like, I almost never run Taunt, but a lot of people do. You find not having something like Taunt. You got your Sky Drop, which would help.
Yeah, I feel like the things that I need to taunt are the Eevee teams or the super aggressive setup like the Rabombi or Choreo Dance teams, and if I see those, I'm going Trick Room on those immediately.
Yeah, like Snorlax will be them, because if you just get a Belly Drum up, then their +2 defense doesn't matter.
Yep.
So yeah, so you happy with those ones and just move on to
I think so, yeah.
Right, cool. So we can start off with Marowak. I'll need to share my other screen with you now.
Okay.
I still need to find a way for this on the recording to show up. On the recording, because they can still just see... hold on. Yeah, they can still only see Showdown now, and they don't know the calcs. So, well.
Okay, well, give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab a drink real quick. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll just cut here on the video.
Do what?
I'm going to cut on the video.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that.
That's cool. Gives me an opportunity to put flawless transition back into my video. So, right, so can you see my calc screen? Right, cool. So first one was Marowak. Okay, so because you're going with the Trick Room one, you are going to be a bulky one, so you're almost certainly going to have 252 HP. That's pretty much a given. Right, so I haven't actually yet done a Marowak bulky spread yet, because the one I used was just 252 Jolly, so this is going to be interesting. Now, a very common one that I know about is surviving Tapu Lele's Psychics, which looks to be that.
68.
So, yeah, and then that would leave you with that much attack. Would you need to go bulkier? Is there any reason to? What else could KO you? How much does a Specs Finny do? Potentially survivable, actually. I think the most common Specs is 204, so is that reasonably survivable? Like 6% is usually acceptable, but that is a lot of investments for surviving that. So I would say that the two benchmarks would be, because you've got enough defense anyway. The two benchmarks would be the Tapu Lele Psychic or this Specs Muddy Water, because you can survive a non-Specs one easy peasy. Even probably a Scald as well. Scald. Yeah, easy. And it's a roll on Hydro Pump. If you go back to, what was it, 68? I think it was 68. Yeah.
What if I was sassy instead of brave?
If you were going with surviving Finny, put the Specs back on. Surviving the muddy water. What was it, 196 or something? It's already, yeah, that's already looking more optimal. If wait, something's different. Oh, because it was 252 rather than 204. Yeah, because you can see here, because they're the same base stats, and if you look at the actual number, 126 is higher than 117, and that means that Sassy would actually be the more optimal nature because of the when you get the 2 stat points for 1 when you're at the 10% mark, that means that you'll get an extra stat or 2 with your higher stat, which means, because it was 117 attack before, I believe, and now magically it's 118. So yeah, being Sassy would save you 1 stat point. Does that make a difference to any offensive attack? Like, would you prefer surviving the Specs Muddy Water or just accepting the Tapu Lele Sidekick? Because one of the things you've got to consider as well is the Marowak is supposed to be like getting quick KOs so that you can Perish Song. And having more attack is more optimal for that, but you have such a high attack stat with the Thick Club anyway that...
Yeah, and I have a ton of switch-ins to Specs Muddy Water too, so with the Slowbro, with the... I mean, and having the Kartana to deal damage. I guess the Lele would be the only thing I really need to have the answer for.
Okay, so would you prefer just the Lele survival and then have all the attack? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was what, 196 and then 60? Or was it 68? I thought it was 68.
I think 68.
Well, that's yeah. 68 was the survival.
Okay.
So, is there a bump nearby? No, it's quite a way away. So 196. No, it's 188. So that would be fine. I'll just put that into the team builder. That's probably a spread that loads of people have come up with before because that's fairly easy to work out, but that's fine. With the Kartana, you've got a Focus Sash. So the most obvious thing to do would just be to go 252, 252 because surely you don't need bulk on your Sash Kartana, but I think you do because I'll show you this calculation. Do this at home, viewers, because this is important, I think. So because they can't see it, you will be able to see this live. So at the moment, if you're just the no bulk Kartana, the Life Orb, Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Koko, 65% chance to 2-hit KO. And then watch how, like, for the minimal investment, look how much this number changes. So, with just 4, that's already so much percent gone. That's, look at that, just 12, and you've gone down, yeah, so you've gone down from 65% chance to 2-hit KO, and with just 12, you're on 28% chance. So that's a huge amount. You can go even further, that's 17, that's 9, that's 0.4. Like, it depends how much you're comfortable with. Like, you could be...
I think guaranteeing the 3-hit KO would be nice.
Would you be okay with 0.4% chance to 2-hit KO?
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially it. If that happens to me, I'm going to be so salty if they hit the 0.4.
Yeah, you could also do modest Life Orb as well, but then I don't know how necessary this is, so... Yeah, like... 76 special defenses for the guaranteed modest levels, so that means that if they're not choice specs, you will live 2 Dazzling Gleams without the crits. So would you be comfortable going with just the timid, and then just the timid? So you're fine with the potential modest, because then that is also an indication of their speed and whether your Koko will outspeed them. So what was that? That was 36. So would you prefer 36 or just go 1 less attack and then just guaranteed?
30, what do you think?
I would personally be comfortable with 0.4 usually, but then looking at the actual percentage change, usually it's like just by like it's by the 0.3% usually, but because it's Kartana, it goes down by 1.5%, and that's a huge amount for just that much investment. So then just for optimization, and that would be your spread. Because you don't need 252, because like one of the benchmarks of Kartana is it's 252 Leaf Blade, or it's 252 Smart Strike, or it's just 4 attack when it's Assault Vested. So either things will live your Leaf Blade because they're EV'd for it, or you, having this tiny bit more attack won't make a difference because they weren't EV'd for it.
Okay.
So, So I would personally run that much bulk on the Sash one.
Yeah, I think that the way you explain it, that probably is the best I could come up with.
I think the best thing is to see the numbers change, like going from 65 down to 28 in just 2 stat points. Like that's one of the craziest things. Actually, I'll show you one of my favorite calcs of all time, even though it's not really relevant anymore. It was relevant last year, and I only ever saw this Pokemon once in VGC 16, and they didn't even bring it. So,
Cloister.
Yeah, this is my favorite calc in the world. Where is it? Okay, so yeah, yeah. So you can see here with just the standard 252, 252 for HP, then you've got just a 6% chance for them to KO you with Icicle Spear, because if they are Adamant Choice Scarf, then they actually speed tie with Rayquaza. So Cloisters have to be Jolly if they're going to be Choice Scarfed. Then it's only a 6% chance to KO. If you don't have the 4 in your HP, look at how much that number changes.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you look at the actual damage rolls, 14 out of 16 of them are exactly the same. And if you divide 180 by 5, it equals 36. So the most important 4 stats in the world is in that Rayquaza. There is actually another one. Like I'll just say this because I'm recording this and for the sake of the video. There is one more. I can't really show it on the actual calculator, but it's not anymore. It was only last gen because Parental Bond has been nerfed. But if you double edge with your Kangaskhan and you have no HP on your, like if you have 252, 252 and not the 4 HP on your Kangaskhan, then if you double edge a Citrus Berry Blissey, you will do enough recoil with your own double edge to do 180 damage to yourself. So, if you don't have the 4 HP, you will KO yourself. If you do have 4 HP, you will not KO yourself. That will never ever come into play, and it won't come into play now that the Parental Bond has been nerfed. But wait, actually, it wouldn't make a difference, would it? No, it would make a difference. Wait, now you've got the Super Berries as well. So actually, no, you can KO yourself with a Kangaskhan with the Super Berries, with a double edge on the Blissey. That would be cool. Oh,
that'd be funny.
That. Yeah, no, because those were my 2 favorite calcs from last season, and they would never ever come into play, but they were my favorite calcs. But back to 17, right? Yeah, that was a little tangent right there that I thought was quite amusing, but
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, right. So Coco, if you've got Life Orb, you might as well just go 252, 252, 4. Yeah,
that's pretty standard.
One optimization I did when I didn't have Life Orb, when I had my Mirror Move one, I believe was this. Was it that? No, I think it was one more. Because then that lives the Showdown Specs Finny Moonblast. Whereas it's a little bit more before. Wait, you can't even see what I was doing. I was doing that on the Pokemon Showdown thing and I'm showing the wrong screen. Right, hold on. Because you can't see my Showdown screen at the moment, can you?
I can see the calcs now.
Yeah, because I was just fiddling stuff on the Showdown rather than the calc thing, so I'll do that here. So, Taup Finny, apparently. So, this specs one, so that Moonblast has an 18% chance, and then just with that much, it's a 6% chance, and with that much, it's guaranteed. So, it depends whether that's worth it. That also hits a nice Life Orb number, actually, because do you know how the Life Orb numbers work?
Takes out 1/8 of a percentage?
It's 1/10.
1/10, okay.
Yeah, so because Pokemon always rounds down, with this 149 HP, you would
That's
take
max.
14.
Okay.
You would take 14 recoil, 14 exact recoil. If you had 150, you would take 15 recoil. So you would go down. Both would go down to 135. But then the next turn, you would actually have 1 more HP if you've done 2 Life Orb hits. So if you're running a Life Orb, you should have XX9 HP, because then you take the optimal amount of recoil.
Okay, I like that. That also gives me an idea of how much it's going to do every turn. So
yeah, and that lives this Specs Moonblast guaranteed as well. So,
okay.
So that's what I would recommend. Tapu Fini. I've already said about the Cortana calc, which was 160. Which was that. So then that leaves you with all this stuff. So there is kind of a speed creeping war with Tapu Finis. Like, the standard speed is just 12, because then that outspeeds Jolly Marowaks. Which aren't really a thing anymore, but they will come back when I start using one. But yeah, I've on like all the reports I've seen 12, I've seen 20, I've seen 28, I've seen 44, I've seen 100. I think is one of the fastest I've seen. I don't think no, the fastest I've seen is 116. I don't think I've seen faster, but it depends, because if you're bold, you would sacrifice a lot of special attack investments, like that also gets boosted with +1, so it is more optimal to put more in special attack. But it depends how hard you want to creep other Finnies. How fast would you want to go with this Finny? Because
well, I have 2 really fast checks to Finny already with Cartana and Coco.
Yes,
so I think I could afford to be a little bit slower. Also, since I need it to operate in semi-trick room mode, so I would say just the one where it's barely creeping at 12. Yes. I might go 1 point higher, just to creep the ones that are creeping those. Yeah, so 20.
Right. That is, I would have recommended around that speed because of your trick room as well. So. Right, 4 in special defense is more optimal. Is there anything you need to survive specially? What's a Nike Lego sludge bomb like?
Yes.
Life orb. Okay, so that's livable. Let's see. Okay, that's not changing. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, if it's under a 1 in 4 chance, that'd be great. Well, I still have plenty of EVs to do that. Yeah. I'd like to guarantee that I survive that. That's life orb Nile Lego is pretty scary.
Okay. That actually takes 4 extra stat points, which like 6%. I would usually take 6%. Usually the stat changes with 1 or 2 stat points, but because it takes 4, was it 4? It was 4, right? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3. 4. Yeah, it was 4 stat changes. So
okay.
I would personally recommend just the 6% because you're going with Calm Mind as well. Maybe if you weren't Calm Mind, I would go with that little bit extra. But because this stat gets multiplied by 1.5 or 2, however much you want, the individual stat points are effectively worth 1.5 stats or 2 stats, or depending on how much you boosted it by as well. But I guess that's the same with the Calm Mind as well. And usually it's more optimal to have an even number when you're going to +1, because of because you get 1 extra stat point rather than being at 1.5 times an odd number, and then you get rounded down.
Okay.
Is that right? I think that was right.
Yeah.
I don't think I explained it at all, but that is right, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that would be EV spreads. Is there anything you can KO? Can you KO Garchomps at +1? That would be what I would. Oh, you don't even need +1. Oh, that's choice specs. That is +1 though. So, yeah.
Awesome.
And Garchomps are starting to be run like that. So, you still have a 75% chance of KOing them, and they would still need to be built that bulky as well, because that bulk puts your special defense higher than your defense, so that Porygons get an ice beam, not an ice beam boost, a attack boost, so they can't KO you with ice beam, whereas they can make if you don't, because they would have the +1 special attack boost.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that is common bulk, but that's still a 75% chance.
That's good enough.
Yeah, and they also, like, a lot of people are lazy as well. If they are lazy and they're just 4 HP, then you will always KO with the Moonblast.
Okay.
So, you comfortable with that EV spread? It also looks nice with having 88 and 88 next to each other. I always like it when that happens. Wait, 88, that's not optimal. What am I doing? Yeah, we get an extra stat point for free because I was not paying attention, so that's actually 92. That's 20 and 60. Okay, cool. Slowbro. Right. So you're not going to be really using this for the school damage, so I would say just put it into put your stats into the defenses. So, because you're slow.
What does it need to survive?
Kartana Leaf Blade, you can survive. I'm pretty sure I've done that calc and you can live them, but it's a lot of investment. Okay, it's not actually as much investment. Oh no, I was thinking of Slowking for that. Yeah, Slowbro. Oh yeah, that's one thing. Would you prefer Slowking or Slowbro? Because they are exactly the same. The only difference is actually is that 110 and 80 the defenses are swapped around. So it actually depends on what you would prefer to live, whether it's Slowbro or Slowking. So,
I mean, I have this really awesome Slow King plush I won from the PC I did this weekend, so that would be cool. But I feel like Slowbro is probably the better pick.
well, it can, like you can see here, it easily survives the Leaf Blade from Kartana, which is
Yeah.
actually a lot. Like even if you had 0, yeah,
Mhm.
you just need to be relaxed, and then yeah, you don't need any investment. Like you could afford to just do that, and then you would easily survive. Can Slow King survive the Leaf Blade? So I've used a Grassy Sea Slow King, and that was cool. But then that also doesn't make sense because then in like the grassy terrain cancels out the +1 defense. So didn't think about that fully through. But there we go. Okay, yeah. So you would have to be relaxed with your Slow King as well, and that's not as optimal because you want to ideally be boosting your highest base stat, and because Slow King would have to boost its defense, which is 80, rather than special defense, which is 110, to guarantee survive the Leaf Blade, then Slowbro is actually more optimal.
Yeah.
Because then you would be boosting your 110 base rather than 70. 70?
Is there anything? I mean, Tapu Koko, but I mean, I have the Marowak to protect myself there.
Yeah.
Trying to think of things that are special that would threaten that. Other than like Torkoal Lilligant with the Leaf Storm.
Yeah, I was just thinking Leaf Storm from Lilligant. We can have a look how much that does. Leaf Storm. Oh wow, that does a lot. And that's not even invested at all because a lot are just 252, so that does so much.
Oh wow.
But you can live if you're a Slow King. Nope, that's not it. Right, that's how much you would need, and then how much is that against Kartanas? Like, could you survive AV Kartana still? No, you can't. Wait, I haven't even put the EVs in. What am I doing? So yeah, you can live an Assault Vest Kartana. If you choose to live the the Leaf Storm from Lilligant, then you can only survive Assault Vest Kartana Leaf Blades rather than Sash ones. So, what other special attacks would there be?
I really can't decide which one I would. I mean, I'm kind of gravitating more towards the Slowbro because I don't have Intimidate, so it's just something bulky on the defensive side. But again, I'm not good at building teams from this point, so I would kind of just default to what you think is the best.
I don't know, like it's hard to see just from the team. Because you've also got a bold Finny as well. It might be better to go special. Like what are But then the main special move is Tapu Koko with Thunderbolts, and you do cover yourself with Marowak. You can live with Slow Kings, I'm pretty sure, but you have to have pretty much max special defense to be able to survive. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, you have to be effectively max, and that gives you 12 EVs into defense, which actually puts you at quite a low defense stat, so that would not be the most optimal. Are there any, like, I'm sure there's some obvious special move that hits Water Psychic that I'm forgetting. Like outside of the grass and...
Oh, like Vikavolt Bug Buzz.
Yeah, we can see how much that does. Actually, it gets hit by Thunderbolt and by Bug Buzz. Okay, that does way less. Oh no, because I'm this super sassy one. Can Slowbro live? Like, that's the one to look at. Okay, that does a lot. Okay, that actually has worked out pretty well because I believe that it was just that much that you needed to survive the Leaf Blade from Kartanas, and then that rounds it out quite nicely because you're pretty much close enough to live the Bug Buzz as well, and that's only with, what, 2 stat points left, so you can just put them wherever you want. So I would actually say the Slowbro.
Okay,
because
that works.
Calc works out better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we still got just 2 stat points left over, and we can't put them into HP. We could put them into attack, but I don't think that Skull would be doing that much. Does that affect any calc on like Arcanine or anything? It looks like it does a little bit, but it's still a 2-hit KO anyway. Yeah, it's still a 2-hit KO. Yeah, so that wouldn't make a difference. So I will, as boring as it might seem, I think I would actually go with that spread.
Yeah.
Because that was enough for Kartana and Vikavolt, but then special defense is your lower stat, so you might as well go into the special defense because that's more optimal.
Okay.
So, as boring as that looks, and as much as I don't like 252 spreads, I think that probably actually is the most optimal Slowbro spread, which is quite weird. So yeah, there we go. And just Snorlax left. So one thing with Snorlax is that because its HP is so high, it is more optimal to invest in its defenses. So I'll just show you. If you just do 252 HP as opposed to 252 defense, what's a physical attack? Kartana Sacred Sword. Yeah, so if you have 252 just HP, then that's effectively 70% to 82%. But if you have that into defense instead, that's a lot lower. Like that's over 12% lower. So it is like it's more optimal. Because if you see its base is 160 as opposed to 65. Because the main thing you want to do with EV spreads, if you can, is to nature boost the highest base stat and then invest your EVs into the lowest base stats. That's the if you don't know what you need to survive, that's usually the best way of optimizing without actual knowledge of calcs. So yeah.
So I'd probably just put the other 4 in HP.
Yeah, it depends if there's anything else you need to survive. Because I would just go max attack because you want to have as much attack as possible with your +6. And as well, because this isn't just a +1, this is a +6 boost. Having more stat points, like each one of these stats is worth 4 rather than 1. So like, it's more optimal to invest in those stats.
Oh, that's an interesting count. Return kills Kartana 100% of the time.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even spot that. That's good to know. The Assault Vest ones are usually that, so it would be a roll, but then high horsepower KOs, so... Yeah. That's good to know.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. That was a perfect 100 as well, which I love the perfect 100s. Even just the 100.5% is no way near as good as the perfect. I absolutely love that when I'm calcing. Especially when it's something I'm actually going for and it works out perfectly. There's been a couple of EV spreads, I can't remember them now, but there's been a few EV spreads where literally every EV is invested with nothing wasted and it did exactly what I wanted. It's been a few times with that and I've always loved it, but that doesn't matter because that's not happening at the moment because you're going to high horsepower your Kartanas rather than return. Unless you need to, unless they've got chip and you want the 100% accurate. So if you've done, where is it? They're on 84.4. So 135 is minimum, that means that 10, so yeah, if you've done any damage to them, then you would go for return rather than high horsepower. But you need to actually work out what the defense calcs would be, because I'm pretty sure I've seen one before that was, what was it, it was 24468, I think. But then that doesn't let you have max. I think that was a Raquinid Z liquidation? Yeah, that's what it was. But you don't have that much for your Snorlax. So, how much is that? That's 25. Is that worth it? Is it worth taking out just a little bit in here to make you survive? Because
I think so. That's a pretty scary Trick Room Z mood, so...
Yeah, so how much does that give you? And that does change it, yeah. So, because here if you see, that's right at the bump, because if you go 1 lower then it reduces by 2 rather than 1, and then that's effectively reducing by 8 rather than than 4 because of the +6 boost. So I would still go with that and just take the 18% chance with the Hydro Vortex from Arachne, because if you're in Trick Room you're going to underspeed them anyway and knock them out. But, yeah, I would probably take that, because then that's giving you... Yeah, that's giving you 6%, and that could be quite big, and you still hit the bump with your Snorlax. So I would probably say that is probably the more optimal one for a belly drum set.
Okay.
Yeah, you do hit an even number. Actually, no, it doesn't matter because your Z belly drum. So having an even number, actually, probably having an odd number is better for you if you're Z belly drum, because you're not getting the berry. Because usually, usually. This was previous generations, now we've got the super berries. but it's still the same with Gluttony super berries. You would have an even number of HP on your belly drum so that you would do exactly half.
And then prompt the berry.
Then you prompt the berry, because if you had an odd number of HP, because Pokemon always rounds down if it's like got a point something, it would be 0.5, so it would round down from that, and you would take just one above what you would need to halve your HP. And yeah, so you'd be at 50.5% effectively. Won't activate your berry, and then that's way less optimal. So, but here with your Z belly drum, it doesn't actually make a difference. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I would say that's probably the most optimal EV spreads. At least just on first impressions. There might be some things you need to change, like if you just miss a like return KO, then you might just want to sacrifice that 6% from the Arachnids. That's not the nature I wanted. I'll switch back to Showdown now, because that should be all the calcs. Right, so that's back to Showdown. Yeah, so if you like just like by like 1 HP, you can see that it's just the tiny red slither. If you just miss the KO, then maybe it's worth taking the 16 out and putting them back into attack, because again that is worth 8 stat points rather than just the 2 that's here with your HP. But that does increase the chances of survival by 6%, and it shouldn't make a difference, that attack investment, even if it is with 8, because then you're going up to like a huge amount anyway, because yeah, you're going to like what, plus 700 attack, so having 8 more shouldn't make a difference. But yeah, there we go. So that should be your team. So
all right, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was pretty much perfect amount of time as well. Like, it's fun. Like quite a few of my my Sensei Sundays with people just making teams. It's funny how it takes pretty much exactly an hour. It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what are you? So you recorded it. So are you basically going to put this on your channel?
Yes, yeah, that is the plan. So
cool.
Unless you don't want me to. You can keep it
see, the only thing is, like, the reason I wanted to go to you is because we've got some pretty successful team builders in our group. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Chase Libert, but he's in our group.
Heard of him.
Yeah, he's in our group. So the reasoning behind this is, like, my competitive disadvantage was when someone helped me team build in the group, they knew all my techs and everything going into a battle. So if you wouldn't mind hiding it, that'd be great. But again, I mean, whatever you want to do. I'm just appreciative of the help. This is so awesome, just having like my own thing.
Yeah, this was for a mid-season showdown, right?
Yeah, it's in a month.
Okay, so should I put that up after? Like, should I put this up in a month then?
Yeah. Let me get you the exact date. Hang on, I'll tell you.
Because I don't have to. If you would prefer me not to put this up at all, then I won't put it up. But
okay.
Like, it would be preferable, because then that's
it's content for you, yeah. So let's see.
And I've had all these funny stories in there as well.
Yeah, the mid-season is March 5th, so you can put it up March 6th if that's okay.
Okay. Well, when's the Sunday after that? Wait, is that actually the Sunday? That is actually the Sunday, yeah. So, yeah, I guess I'll put it up like at just before midnight on my Sunday.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Because you should have been done by then. So
yeah.
People are just hearing us rant about putting this up now because we finished the content. I'm sure they've already disappeared by now, but yeah, that was a good one. Like, yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks so much for your help. Yeah, I'm hoping that my piloting skills with your team building skills can like take me to the next level. So maybe get another top cut this season.
That would be awesome. I'd look forward to seeing how you do with it.
Yeah, if I do, it'll be the Portland regionals, which are coming up, and then Anaheim is at the end of this month. So I'm not really going to Worlds this year because I like, for my job, I work like 60 hours a week, so it's just impossible for me to qualify. But I still like, I'm like a really competitive, so I want to make sure I'm still like got a really good team going into this. Okay,
cool. Well, I hope this is good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. If there's something you think needs tweaking, then just message me.
Will do.
And I'll have a think about it.
Cool. Thanks, man, again. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. See you
later. All right, well, last thing, can you copy and paste the thing in just a private chat? All right, cool. All right, well, have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.